today. I've got this B&W turnover ball gooseneck hitch here, as well as this B&W companion fifth wheel hitch that goes into your turnover ball. And I got to try and install them. The hard thing is this is 300 pounds, so I have this lifting adapter to help me. That's like, I don't know, 60 or something like that, and you got to have it held up to the truck. So I got this hoist. I got to try and get it in there and get it to where it's going to reach. I got to measure, I got to cut, and then I got to bolt things. So we're going to go through that today. And here you can see the single worst part. Weather is crap. It was 70 degrees and sunny on Saturday when I had the half of the hitch. However, there's a misleading article that led me to believe it was the full thing. So then I ordered the other half. Today it's here. Today we have this. And Saturday I need to use that. So I'm gonna try and take a blowtorch, see if I can't lightly melt some of this off of here, maybe, hopefully, and get it out of my way so I can do this. So we'll get a little bit of heat and we'll see what it does. That ought to do. All right, that should work. The rest is just going to piss on me and whatever, right? It's gonna suck and be uncomfortable. If not, might need my wife's help for an extra set of hands to get it to its final resting position. It doesn't like my crane in there, obviously. Shit, slipping. I was sitting sideways. Truck was in a daze. But here we go anyways. All right, I am gonna need to drop the spare tire. There we go. 1,000 turns is the minimum required to remove this. I think I want it out, so I'm gonna go a little extra. Make sure that thing is loose. Get this guy out of here. So once we get to the instructions, it tells us everything we have in our kit. Gee golly, that's good. I checked it, it's all there. Prepare to install. It says prepare lifting device. We'll see how that works out for us. So I want to remove the spare, did that. That's optional though. Position the vehicle, did that. That's mandatory. Lift vehicle using only, I'm not lifting it, I'm gonna crawl around like a peasant. Prepare a lifting device. Remove heat shield. That's where we're at. It's that one, the one I pointed to. Looks like there might be a bolt on top and maybe some on the sides. There's a lot more room under here. At this point. Oh, okay, there's one. So you might get a better look than I can. I can't see anything, but there's one I can feel right here. Yep. For the instructions, it looked like there might be one over there. I can't really see it or tell. We have them both. It would be nice if they put this in the instructions. So since I'm doing a video, I will. So heat shield is a number 13. All right, one bolt down. Save this in your keeps pile, I guess, if you got one. Here's mine. All right, there is a flange of some sort. There's that other one I saw in the picture. So I recommend using a box end wrench to remove this one. Otherwise, you too will have problems. There's not enough room for the ratchet to get it out of there. We should have at least one more. It's up front right there. I could be wrong. I'm most definitely wrong. Ugh. Where is it? There appears to be one right way over there. Dang it. If you're not in a position where your ass would be in snow and out in the cold and wind, reach it around that other side, underneath ice-covered, dripping leaf spring. I feel a hole up there with my hand, and this would probably be easier accessed from in front of the axle. Look at that. Look at that. Would you look at that? Would you just look at it? All right. Now, we carefully remove this and throw it again in your keeps pile of shiza. Oh! And then we must read the next step. All right, boom. Step 5 done. Remove or modify fender liners. I'm not removing them. So there's a gap between the frame and the bed that you need to get at. And as you can see, I cannot, because we have this here. So what I'm going to do, short of removing them, because they are this flexible carpety nonsense that appear to be held on with torque screws. Did I pick the right one? FYI, if I did, it's a T10. I did. T10 it is, guys. Boom. Maybe. Now we need to mark a hole location, a 4-inch hole location. So I want a few things for that. 1, tape measure. You gotta have a tape measure. 2, my brain. I've left that somewhere. Hopefully I'll find it up there. 3. Number 3 is your hole saw. You need a 4-inch, 102 millimeter. Notice those are 2 different measurements. 4-inch is 102 millimeter, or close enough that either one will be approximately the same and suitable for this purpose. Now, as you can tell, this one's brand new in the package because I didn't have it before. I think it was like somewhere between 10 and 20 bucks on the Amazon. I ordered it special for this. And this was a Morse advanced bimetal hole saw here. So it actually perfectly came up in the things frequently bought together. And if you look, it is the perfect size. So you must do this perfectly. Now, people say to, I've saw somebody say in the directions, it says use wood or something. I didn't see that in my directions. Maybe it's because I didn't read the entire step. I'm not sure. However, I'm not gonna do that. You'll see it has this little set screw on it. Beautiful. So what you do is you find a drill bit that maybe approximates that size. Guess what a 1/4 inch could do? My 1/4 inch also has little flat spots, which will work perfectly for this little Allen screw in here, the set screw, to lock it in place and keep it from rotating. You need your drill, obviously, for the hole saw. I have this ultra super wonderful Makita that I intend to use. It is the super best drill, I think, in the planet. So there's that. You also want something to mark it. This is on a bed liner. I'm going to use this. This is an awl. I'm going to scratch it onto that spray bed liner. Falls, fails. I have this. Now, you want this location to be correct because this locates the entire hitch. So these instructions tell you exactly where to do it. So you want to find the center line, obviously, of the truck. So measure the distance between the wheel wells, divide by 2. Okay. So I recommend that you be sure you have these numbers right. So when you're using a tape measure such as this, that loose end, it's designed so if I put it up to something, the number's right on the inside, right? So let's say here, what say you? 50 and 3/4. So 25 and 3/8. We're just gonna go ahead, cover with a Sharpie, 25 and 3/8. All right. Super precise location. Now it gives you 2 lengths from here up. Choose one that is applicable to you. Must be correct. So I don't have an 8-foot long bed. That is not me. I am a short bed, which this defines as a bed less than 8 feet long. I have a standard size bed, which is what, 6 foot something maybe. So this I want 44 and 3/4. It does also make a special note to say that you wish to take the thickness of your bed liner into account, which this is a factory spray-on one. And if you look there, you can see I've also cut into this before. She's roughly a 1/16 of an inch. So if we're going 44 and 3/4, I want to add a 1/16 of an inch to make up for that. Now here's the other kicker of this tape measure. When I'm on the outside, if I pull it, guess what? This is allowed to move enough to make up for itself. That's how they're designed. So now I can just go off of the number. So I want 44 and 3/4, which if I put that to 1/16, what's 3 times 4 is 12, plus a 1/16, so 13/16. So 44 and 13/16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Right there. And 3/8. Wow, Chevy did a great job of centering that louver, I'd say. So, I'm confident enough on my measurements. Let's put a hole in it. So now, I wish to be centered. You can pilot drill. We're on the money. But if we go, just let it chew. Back to the instructions. I have a hole. I have a hole. Now modify the bed flange. Cut a notch on the bed flange just above the frame. In the passenger side wheel well, as shown, figure A4. This notch is required for installing the hitch cross members. So I need a V-shaped notch, 2 inches long, 3/4 of an inch deep. Let's get that sharp steel off of there so it don't fall off and cut my tires. We don't want the tires cut. Cut hole. Now install cross members. All right, but the next step is to start prepping these in their locations. So we need this one first. So if you look at it, this needs to point towards the back of the truck. We're gonna slide this in. That's why we need that V recess. Hopefully ours is big enough. I don't need to cut more. I might need to, we'll see. And it says put a 1/2 inch by 1.5 inch cap screw in the first hole with an O-ring. Make sure the O-ring is seated tightly against the cross member. So 1/2 inch by 1.5 inch. I believe that's this feller. Yeah, because I don't see any others that look about that. 1/2 inch by 1.5 inch. That's the guy. Let's find the O-ring. If I were the O-ring, there I would be. So now we take it, we put this true to hole. This probably has to happen after it's in there. It does tell us to do that after. It doesn't say do it after, but in the steps. So let's do this. We want it to slide it under there, so it's approximately 6 inches in front of the 4-inch hole in the bed. Uh-oh. Next problem. I got enough room, I think. So we get this. Let's find our little groove that we cut right there. All right. Oh boy. Is that gonna be enough? Yes. Maybe. Maybe. Ow, fingy. Oh, look at that. It's cleaning a lot of the ice off for us. It's such a nice bar, isn't it? So we're gonna go a little more, and then we should be on top of that other rail now. Now we want to get under and put this O-ring on it and slide it so it's about 6 inches forward of the hole. Let's see. It's the best way under up to this point. Yep, so see, works out. It is. Oh, geez. Above the fuel tank, too. Duh. They're not making this one fun, are they? Looks like I only have one bolt above that. All right. So, let's get this onto here. So I'm turning the bolt so it pulls that snug against this here bracket. Let it walk it down its own threads, make it easy, and now slide it so it's approximately 6 inches forward of the hole, maybe a little more. That's cool. What else? And then you wanna, it's gonna be stood up. Obviously, I can't just prop it that way. It's not going to stay. So, cool. That's that. Boom. Now we want to stage the center section. So we raise the center section into place as shown in figure B4, staging it for installation. When staged correctly, the receiver socket will be offset towards the rear of the truck. May be helpful to pull down on the exhaust while positioning to allow extra room for maneuvering. So if you look, it looks like it's sat on top of the fuel tank and the exhaust to be staged. So let's do that. Oh, this piece is like a 60-pound piece, I believe. Nothing to worry about. Oh. All right. Whew. So now we gotta get up there. Ah. Let's try not to crush any brake lines or anything on the way in. Ooh. Oh yeah. This is awkward. Whew. And here's why it may be nice to pull down on the exhaust for maneuvering. They should just say you have to. Perhaps if I come in at it a different way. Let's see if I can find a different way to come in at it. Alright, let's get it back here, past that, over these. And through the woods. To grandmother's house we go. Let's get it over that hump. Back over these. Pull back towards me a little bit. Get this up here. Oh yeah, different way. Oh, that's what they should say. Go at it a different way. Oh, okay. Got it. It's in thorough P mode right now, the truck. It's hit that optimal temperature. Now, that's staged in there. I want to slide the other cross member between the bed and the frame, just rearward of the center section, until it spans both frames. Rotate the cross member a quarter turn so the holes are closest to the truck frame. So these I want closest to the frame. The narrow space between the bed and frame will make it difficult. What do you know? So you can use a wrench to do that task. See that? They even have a picture. Yeah. So let's set our wrench just in case it's correct. And then let's carefully take this, and carefully, because of my location, you may not have to so carefully. All right, now let's take this, slide it in, and now I want to go carefully until we're on that other frame rail. I may wish to get underneath here soon. I think I do. Let's hope as you don't smack me in the head when I'm under there. Oh yeah, it's forward of the axle. That'll save my ass. All right. So it's there. Now I want Oh, geez. So this is what I was talking about. You might need a wrench. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We did need a wrench, eh? All right. Oh, yeah. Yes. All right. Boom. So that's in there. Now that that's in there, we're almost ready for bolts. Oh. Next step, lift center. So we want to lift it toward the bed of the truck, guide the raised portion and center through the 4-inch hole, and keep it tight against the center of the floor bed. This is where our jerry rigging goes into full force. So you'll notice, oh, no, that can't be. Most certainly it does go in there right now. So let's get our stuff pinned on here. You know what I realized? I did not even need to do that at all. Well, I didn't realize that this was 2 chains. Welding wire, any kind of wire that you could use. Whatever you got, why not? That's what I say. Ow, my knee. Don't hit yourself with a 3-ton floor jack in the knee. All right, now before I pull it too tight, I want to go try and straighten it out reasonably straight. Oh, truck don't taste nice. Don't taste nice at all. All right, so now I want to try and get this reasonably straight under here, and I think that was probably enough to do it right there, honestly. Now, a little 1 pump jump. All right, see my chain starting to split. We're tight. All right, so the next step, putting bolts in. The 1/2 by 1.5 bolts go in there. I'm going to use that one that's pre-positioned to hold it in place. You line that up, pop it till it's through the plate. Then you put yourself a lock washer and a nut on the back of it and finger it on. And then you proceed with the next 4. After that step, I'm going to do these 2 steps together just because I'm going to be under there with the bag of bolts. For the next step, I take the 1.5 by 2-inch. You can see that 1/2 inch longer bit. There you go. And I put these with lock washer, regular washer, and those go through the 4 aft holes. So let's get these 4 aft holes done, and the 4 forward holes as well. What I'm going to do, I know I said bag of bolts. However, I wish to make this a little easier if I can. So let's kind of pre-position some items. Yummy. And a lock washer. Once we have those items in our hand, it's gonna be this one. You guys might have trouble seeing. Let me see if I can assist in that manner. Cool. All right. So now we want to try and stand that up and carefully slide it back. So as you can tell, that's what that O-ring is for, to hold that bolt while I do this. Well, Finky. Ooh. All right. Now, let's get El lock washo in position. I'm hoping you guys can see this. I'm not just wasting my time here with this camera, talking to myself like a loser. I'm gonna go ahead and get it fingered in there real nice and tight like. Let's see if we can't. There we go. Fingerly tight as I can. And now let's get the next one ready to go. I'll line those the ones for the aft holes up. Get them out of my way since they're all together. Give me easy pickings on the other bits. There we go. Alright, let's just get them punched in there so I have my both hands free. Now we've got to get these holes lined up. So this one needs to come over a little bit. Oh, I can feel it. These ones don't just want to thread right in either. I can't at all for those two. Let's see, will it work for this one? Yep, sure will. All right, let's leave that somewhat loose. Slew down my shit. All right, next step, install the side plates. All right, so we want to place each side plate against the frame, so the flanges between the front and rear cross member, blah, blah, blah. 5/8 lock washers and 5/8 flat washers go on these 16mm bolts that will go into existing holes on the frame, so those will be easy to find. And then on each side of this, the aft side, you will get the one with no nut, because that's the threaded one. The forward one, you get the one with one nut. So let's take our one nut and big ass things here and go up there. Is get up under here, and you'll begin to see where this goes. We want to line this up to the existing holes and those brackets that are in there. So remember, this one's froze back up. Apparently I didn't heat it with the torch quite enough. There we go. Gosh. All right, so now you can see where those cross members are under there. The aft one's right about here, forward one's right about there. So what we want to do, let's get this positioned betweenst them. Betweenst. Did you like that? I don't think that's a word. There we go. And now I can see a hole. So let's put a bolt in it. Oh, all right, that one started. Let's get this one in here and started. All right, that one started. Let's take this guy. Oh, jam that up out of the way. Let's get this one figured out and started. We're gonna need to do something. Let's get this out here. All right, there's that hole. All right, got that one started. And then let's take this one. Whoops. Oh. Yeah. I didn't know I had to move. Oh. It's real, man. It is real. All right, this one I'm gonna try and do blind because this thing's all froze up on me here, so you won't see what I'm doing. Just know that I'm doing it. All right, back under the truck we go. Now, like I said, I don't want to make these tight. I want to be able to move this slightly if I need to. Too tight. Nope, not too tight yet. All right, now that should be good. Let's do the same thing here. What I'm mainly hoping for with this round is that I can get that kind of pulled, get the other side centered where it needs to be horizontally. All right, now in case there's any confusion, this is the same as the other side, just over here. All right, now tighten the center section bolts. Okay, so with them against the bed, then I tighten them. So I don't want to torque them yet. I'll do that later. I just want them tight now. Square the hitch. So, square the hitch. With a tape measure, check the distance between the turnover ball hitch and the nearest crossbed member. Right there, see? Boom. So, hitch, there. Check that distance. Make sure it's even side to side. If it's not, I'm going to persuade it. And once it's even, then I'm going to tighten all those bolts down and then torque them. They show like a huge gap. I'm assuming a long bed maybe has that. Not a standard bed. So right there, I don't know if you can make it out on the camera. We're at exactly at the 5/8 line. Hot damn. Holy moly. Hot damn. I have good eyeballs. Let's tighten these suckers. Ain't going nowhere. So everything is tight now. However, it's not tight. Now I need to torque all fasteners. All the 1/2 inches need to be 110 foot-pounds, and these 16 millimeter ones need to be 150. So I'm waiting until the handle clicks. Once the handle clicks, I'm there. Oh, we're almost there. She's getting tight. There we go. All right, those ones suck. On to the next. Woo! Let's see what I got that can do 110. Please, little guy, please, little guy, please, little guy, please, little guy. 100. Oh. You're telling me they want me Alright, now there's also the spring kit that goes with this. I don't intend on actually using a gooseneck anytime soon, and today is not the best time to be underneath, and I'm over this. So I got the whole gooseneck installed. I'll still have to drill holes and put the U-bolts in under there, and I can crawl under here at any point, use those ones on the bottom of that gooseneck as my reference to back drill. So I'll just save those parts and do that when the weather's nicer out. Otherwise, that's that. One thing I do have to still install though, the other side of the carpet, as well as this here release handle. So if you look, it wants me to put this little bolt in there. This little carriage bolt goes in there. There doesn't appear to be any washers or anything, so let's find the appropriate nut for it. Right here. And if you look, I'm feeding that through a hole that looks like it's on the top side over here, which I don't have access to. Let's figure out where that is. There it is, I see it. So it's right in here. So we're going to cut out a little section of carpet there. So this is carpet. Let's see if this will cut it. I think it's probably got some plastic and stuff behind it. Probably won't work, but let's see. All right, I need to go straight in there. Let's go just a little further forward just to make sure it doesn't interfere. Boom. And now I can see straight through. So this goes in there and then does something. Finger that nut until we get it close enough to tighten up with this here little ratchet. All right, so now we got that all bolted in. As I said before, the only pieces I'm not putting in today, because I'm so over this, are these, which are U-bolts, because I'd have to back drill the holes, drop these in, and then put a spring on each one, followed by a nut so they pull flat down. It's just getting nighttime. I'm not getting a actual fifth wheel. I'm using this. This doesn't utilize these. I'll do these later. All right, now last part for the day. want to get this in there. So it'll drop into there. Obviously that won't hoist it the whole way. You'll end up needing some help. So you're gonna pull that out and rotate it so it locks. Now my pin's out of the way. I just don't want to get that. Now you see these rubbers here? I need to loosen that little bolt down there so I can slide my rubbers, because whenever this goes in here, they'll want to fit in one of these grooves. Let's loosen them up so my rubbers can slide. I want to make sure to keep it tight as we go. Get it hooked around there. Now that it's hooked around there, let's get this in tighten mode. And let's slowly pull up on it. Let that cable tighten up in there. I did already unspool it once and tighten it, but just moving it. There we go. Now we're airborne. So now I want to try and get this as high as I can up to the hitch carefully. So it comes with this lifting piece here. Well, it doesn't come with it. Sorry, that was like an extra 30, 40 bucks on top of this. All right, watch your fingies, watch your feet. We are officially in the danger zone. So now, we want to try and hoist this high enough where we can carefully swing it around. So you just kind of saw the whole thing kind of jerk a bit. It's putting its weight on there. It's pivoting. It's a little loose in there. Just keep an eye. We'll look for any creaking and groaning. And I'm gonna stand back in case the danger zone is for real. Know what I mean? Oh, this feels so sketchy. To have this much weight up in the air like this. So as I do this, it should pull it back towards the crane, which should also pull it away from my brake light here, because I'm past that point. Now as it goes up, it's going closer. So that's ideal, because then even if it doesn't clear it, hopefully I can kind of snake it in there. So when I do this, I want to make sure that, all right, we just hit the max. So now that's as high as it goes. Let's see if we can't get this around and in. Get that out of the way. You do not stand in front of it underneath this thing. So now I'm going to carefully take this. That's what I use to turn it. Okay, now let's loosen this handle here. What this handle does is it locks it from spinning. But we need it to spin now. So let's loosen that up. There we go. The resistance is off. And let's see if we can make this happen without trying to stay out from underneath as much as possible, if possible. All right, looks like that's as far as she's going. While guiding this down, but not underneath, this weighs 300 pounds. Let's just crack it loose and let these hydros work their way down and set it down. And be ready to close the valve back up. Oop. See, we got a little crazy on there. Let's center this back up. Oh, tighten this so it can't move on us. There we go. And now let's try again. Let's get it down. All right. Set this off to the side. Now, this is about 80 pounds. Let's pop this head off of here. Pull your pins. Set them somewhere you don't lose them. Boom. Grab those handles. And lift it off. Then, with that off, and hopefully out of the way, now we want to walk this over and drop that center piece right under this bolt into that hole. Right now, without the head, this weighs about 200 pounds. Oh, I might be able to one-man it from here, dear. Let's see if I have a hernia in the morning. We'll be good. All right, now we're hitting the danger zone. It's about to go in the hole. We got about 6 inches. So, want to go slow and easy and watch the feet. All right, somewhat lined up. This might just drop down. Feet clear, ready. Make sure you're not in a pinch zone. Oh, there we go. Now, want to make sure these rubbers are in their grooves. This one here is not. Oh, balls. Get into place. There we go. All right. And then we will end up tightening those rubbers when we get there. Center, we got this bolt torqued to 80 foot-pounds. And what that does is that secures this nice and tightly. Puts a little tension on that pin too, so it'll kind of lock that pin into place. So, boy. That was really loose, huh? All right, 80 foot-pounds. So again, I got this set already. Double check it. Foot-pounds, 80 on the dot. So we're going until we get that click from the handle. 80 is a good bit, apparently. There we go. Now let's tighten these down. Now we won't have to loosen and tighten these again because they will be where they need to be for this vehicle. One more thing I need to do, put the head on here. I want to make sure it clears this. Guess what? This is a slider. Slide it back. This is what's known as the maneuvering position. So it doesn't have your weight, right? But it gives you more room from the cab. That way, if your wide gooseneck or your wide fifth wheel RV doesn't smash your truck when it's making tight maneuvers. Now let's drop this head on here. Let go of them handles. Before I pin it, I just want to make sure it's gonna fit under the cover. Oh yeah, she's got the room. So let's lock it. Now it's in the locked position. We'll put our pins back in. So this head is secured. You want to put them from the back to the front. Then you got your little pins, little holes, put your cotter pins in there. So that way they don't fall out. You can get locks, apparently they make for this. I looked on their website. They're like 30 something bucks. Yeah, I'll probably get them. Doesn't look like there's much else. We'll see, but you could just remove this if you want, or make sure it's secured somewhere. But if you'll see, oh, there you have it. So those top, you see those silver pieces on there? They are adjustable. You can take them and flip them around to move this further aft. It'll give you 2 more inches if you need, or the way I have it, it should put it centered over that goose ball, which is slightly forward of my rear axle. Should give good weight distribution, good handling in that position. Providing I have enough room to maneuver like that, it'll stay like that. The other part, you have 3 rows of holes through each side. Well, more than that, but you have, there's 4 bolts, 2 rows on each part, but you can move them up a set, down a set, or where I have them in the center. So you probably have about 1.5 inches of height adjustment in it as well. I would assume that's not an actual measurement, just so y'all are tracking. But beyond that, we got a hitch. Those rubbers are in, everything's in the track. And then lastly, one thing I'll show you, you come down here. If you ever forget, this shows you how to release that pin. But before you release the pin, you gotta loosen up that 80 foot-pound bolt in there, because guess what? It's putting tension. That pin ain't going anywhere until you loosen that bolt. So looks like we had just enough ice out of here. Hopefully we'll end up retorquing those fasteners at some point in the future, just to make sure, because I do see there could be a little right there on both of them, but that would be the only thing I'd be worried about. I don't think we'll have an issue, but I probably will retorque them just to make sure. Either way, I'm sure with the tension on it that we'd be good. Now, I mentioned before about the goose ball you can flip. This is the goose ball you flip. If you have that out of there and you have the hole in there, drop that in, set your pin, and you have a ball for a gooseneck. Now, if you just want to put stuff in your bed and you want it flat and no hole, take it out, flip it, put your pin. Guess what? Now you got a flat covered bed. So there's that. And then you've got your lifting adapter. Both of these things you need to keep somewhere safe so you don't lose them. Otherwise, guess what? You got to buy them again. And then one other thing, this will go on the 5th wheel, the kingpin itself, and this will be the lubricant. Otherwise, it tells you grease that real good. I don't want to grease it. Grease is messy, ugly, and then I have to actually use grease. This is plastic, some kind of plastic or nylon, and that's what it's made for. It's wear, so that way this wears, not the metal. This is your lubricant. Also, it's thicker, so if there's any play, guess what? That'll take care of that. So that's that problem solved. So the next thing I'm not going to do on video, I'm going to take this crane out. I'm going to get that wheel back up. I'm going to get the truck out of here and get on with my life. So it was nice sharing this with you. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. See you next time.